In our tech report, Nigeria-based e-commerce technology company Jumia is adapting its digital retail network to help curb the spread of COVID-19. Jumia has donated certified face masks to health ministries in Kenya, Ivory Coast, Morocco, Nigeria, and Uganda. Africa 54 technology reporter Paul Ndiho, in an exclusive interview via Skype, spoke to JULIET ANAMMAH, chairwoman of Jumia Nigeria and group head of institutional affairs. She says that Jumia's primary concern is the health and well-being of its employees, consumers, partners, and communities.
Joining me to discuss how COVID-19 is affecting tech companies in Africa is JULIET ANAMMAH, Head of Institutional Affairs at a Jumia Group of Companies. Hello, JULIET.
How are you, Paul? How are you doing?
I know you've been quarantined here in Virginia. How are you able to do work right here in Virginia and serving people back home?
Well, I guess being part of a digital company, these are ways of working that we've been using for a long time. So it's easy for me to connect with the teams through video conference, audio conference, emails, and calls.
How has COVID-19 affected Jumia as a tech company in Africa?
One thing that this COVID-19 has made clear is that our work is not just a business, it's a mission actually, because it's even much more relevant at a time like this when governments want people to social distance. They want as much as possible to move more people online, more people using digital means of transactions and interactions. So for us, it's a humbling experience to realize just how important what we've been doing has suddenly become.
You talked about governments. I know Jumia has been working with several governments across the continent to figure out the best way to maybe address some of the challenges as a result of COVID-19. Maybe specifically bring us up to speed. What has Jumia done with the different governments across Africa?
First and foremost, the best service we can bring to the countries we work with is making sure that we protect our teammates, our communities, and the partners. So we've taken a lot of steps, practicing social distancing at work, making sure that we keep a good track of all our employees, their policies around if someone is sick, they stay home, and all those, making contactless deliveries with delivery agents and making sure that they practice those principles. Education, there's a lot of misinformation that is out there. There's a lot of, people not getting access to the right information. So we've worked with governments, places like Nigeria, South Africa, Ghana, Ivory Coast, Kenya, and other markets to make sure that when customers land on our landing page, that we're able to integrate the NCDC information so people have access. And we've also launched in some places partnerships around building the right habits for consumers. So washing of hands, for example, was launched in Nigeria. Every aspect of our business is relevant at this point in time. So logistics, again, very important. People are either in lockdown situations or they can't, there are restrictions of movement. So being able to reach the last mile is something that's very important because we are able to source certified face masks and all different types of essential items for governments. We've done that for Nigeria, we've done it for Ghana, Kenya, Uganda, Egypt, a couple of other countries we've done the same as well.
A quick follow-up. You talked about logistics. Sometimes logistics can be a nightmare in Africa, trying to move around to get things from one point to another. How has it been, especially in light of this crisis where most governments or most places, cities are on lockdown?
Because that network existed prior to this, we didn't need to start building it from scratch, and it's now extremely relevant at a time like this.
In 2014, maybe 2 years after you had launched, I met some of your colleagues, and one of the things I told them at the time was I will not be surprised to see if maybe in 10 years' time, they are launching an IPO. Last year, you guys were listed on the New York Stock Exchange. How has that experience been, being the big players on the continent?
And whenever people ask me this question, I also say to them, look, in addition to that, it also showed opportunities that exist for other players on the continent. So it wasn't just a Jumia thing. It was more or less showcasing Africa and what is possible in Africa.
And that's our show for today. Be sure to watch Africa 54 on our website at voaafrica.com. From all of us here in Washington, thanks for watching.